Funding for the Mind Matters, Building Skills and Breaking Barriers, the Clubhouse Atlanta Way podcast was provided by a grant through the Hirsch Legacy Fund. The Hirsch Legacy Fund supports nonprofit organizations serving communities in Atlanta, Georgia, the U.S., and Israel with projects focusing on mental health, underserved communities, and Jewish causes. Visit HirschLegacyFund.org and discover more about their mission to help others. Welcome to our podcast, Mind Matters, Building Skills and Breaking Barriers, the Clubhouse Atlanta Way. Hosted by and about Clubhouse Atlanta members, our show features inspiring discussions that inform, uplift, and empower as we work together to build a world where mental health challenges no longer stand in the way of fulfilling careers, relationships, and lives. Be sure you visit our website at www.clubhouseatlanta.org. While you're there, subscribe to us at your favorite network. Now, let's shine a light on strengths and potential rather than limitations.
Welcome to our podcast, Building Skills and Breaking Barriers, the Clubhouse Atlanta Way. I'm your host, Vincent Bagby, and today we're here with another Clubhouse member, Mr. Eric Roberts. He is a certified peer specialist. Eric, what was the age of onset of your symptoms related to your mental health diagnosis and the year they first happened?
I first had symptoms when I was 15 years old. That was 1975.
Okay, and it was common for people with a mental health diagnosis, like myself, to have at least one diagnosis prior to their primary or current diagnosis. Was that the case for you? Did you have a diagnosis prior to the one you have now?
Well, I'm sure I had a diagnosis, but the psychologist never told me what it was. So the first diagnosis, I'm assuming it may have been schizophrenia, but I don't know. And I did get a second diagnosis 15 years later in 1990 of bipolar disorder.
I too had a different diagnosis that I don't know what it was back when I started out, and have a bipolar diagnosis now. For me, there was a period of about 10 or 15 years that happened between the initial diagnosis and my current diagnosis, and all the changes in between. The messaging has changed for mental health diagnoses or mental illness over the past 20 to 30 years of my experience. You've had a longer one, 50 years. People diagnosed in the 70s, 80s, and 90s were told different things about the possibilities of their future, possibly not having a spouse, a family, or employment, and that these things would be severely limited. What have you learned or found out not to be true about the life you created compared to the life that you were told you would have?
Well, my original psychologist, he was optimistic for my future. He thought I could go to college. He even thought it was possible for me to be pre-med or something. So it was an optimistic thing. One psychologist told me, discouraged me from going back to college when I had dropped out. So her optimism was less, and she didn't think I could do as well. But now I feel like, my current psychiatrists and counselors can think I've achieved well and that I've done about as much as I could do with my life.
That's fantastic. Okay, glad to hear that. Eric, how long have you been a certified peer specialist?
17 years.
Okay. What qualities do you think make someone a good candidate to become a peer specialist?
Well, they have lived experience in with mental health, and they're empathetic, and they want to help people.
Yes.
And think that they can help people with their experience.
Okay.
And are motivated to do that.
All right, fantastic. 17 years, a long time. How does somebody become a certified peer specialist? Are there classes? Are they online, or is it done in person?
Well, you have to go through the Georgia Mental Health Consumer Network to be a certified peer specialist in the state of Georgia. And you have to apply for training, and it's hard to get in. There's a lot of competition. I went to, and I was accepted to training on my second application, and I went to an in-person training, which was before the pandemic. Of course, during the pandemic, they had a gap where they didn't have training, and then they had, online training, and now they're going to more more in-person and online training.
Okay.
And after you do the training, I had to study a lot and pass the test, the exam.
Okay.
I took maybe 3 or 4 weeks after the training finished, and I had to pass that exam, and after that, you're a CPS. And
okay. Could you explain your motivation to become a peer specialist? You kind of answered
Well,
that a bit.
I was going to a day program, and there was a CPS working there, and I thought I could do that too, and I was at the time I was working just temporary jobs. I was working like 3 different temporary agencies, just part-time. So I thought I could do that, and so that's when I went to the Georgia Mental Health Consumer Network Summer Conference, and I applied for CPS training and got in.
Okay. Thank you for that. So the process has changed over time, and they've offered more ways of getting certified. And finally, where can you work with a certified peer specialist certification area?
Well, there's a wide variety of things. You can work with private agencies in either individual or group settings, or public agencies like the DeKalb Community Service Board. They hire CPSs for groups. And also there's forensic peer specialists that work with prison population and people just released from prison.
Okay. So you're like a guide for people.
Yeah.
Okay. Or even mental health journey. Okay. Well, thank you, Eric. That concludes our interview. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Pleasure. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for tuning into Mind Matters, Building Skills and Breaking Barriers, the Clubhouse Atlanta way. Remember to visit our website at www.clubhouseatlanta.org and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're there, subscribe to us at your favorite network. We look forward to you joining us again next time on Mind Matters, Building Skills and Breaking Barriers, the Clubhouse Atlanta way.